What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, and today's episode, I got Boston University point guard Ethan Watts joining me on the episode. Appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thanks for having me, bro. Nice to meet you.
Before we get into this pod, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and comment what you guys think, and then share it with everybody you can. And then a Spotify version, it'll be available. So link in the description for that. And then I'll pop up my social medias on the screen. So those will be in the description as well. And then check out the take.sport.blog. I write a bunch of sports articles on there. So make sure to go check those out. Link in the description will be there. But let's go ahead and get into it. So how would you assess your team's performance like right now in the year? Because you guys are sitting at 7-6. So how would you assess how you guys done so far?
I think we had a average, non-conference season. A lot of games that we lost, I feel like we could have won. We were in position to win. We're just struggling to be, consistent. When we're all locked in, playing a certain way. We're tough to beat, but right now it's just struggling with the consistency part of that. So that's our record reflects that. But with that being said, I think we're using that to understand what it takes to win. We won some big games late. We lost some big games late, so we kind of used it as a learning experience, and we're going to move forward from it. Going into our conference play, coming up Friday. So I think it was a good learning experience overall.
What do you think are some things you guys do well as a team?
I think we're very unselfish. We all kind of been around each other for a long time, so we all know each other's games, and we all want to see each other succeed. So it's easy playing with a bunch of guys like that. The ball's always moving. It never really sticks, and it's a fun brand of basketball to be a part of. So,
So the
and I think
chemistry
that
is definitely there.
yeah, this group. A lot of these guys on this team were a part of the championship team in 2020. And then, with I think we only have three freshmen, so that's an old team. We got four super seniors, what they call it these days, five regular seniors. Like we're old, so we just been through a lot, and all really want to see each other succeed this year. So it's been fun.
So you mentioned like kind of experience. You guys have kind of been through it all. Like what are like some things that have helped you along the way, like this year, since you guys are more experienced than some of the younger teams in the country?
Um, I think going up to Milwaukee and losing three games in a row honestly helped us the most because we saw that you know we're not as good as we thought we were.
Yeah, yeah.
We I think a 3-0 stretch there that we were on, won three games in a row. Um, not really playing against great teams, but good teams. And we won three in a row, and then we got to Milwaukee and kind of got punched in the face, and it was good for us. Um, to learn how to respond. Me personally, it was a good learning experience for me. To learn how to lead through that and learn how to respond. As a point guard. So I think it helped us overall. But that was definitely the start of us kind of realizing, like, all right, we got a lot of work to do. We're a good team, but there's still pieces to be put together. So,
Yeah, yeah. What are some things you think you can improve on as a team, like throughout? Because you mentioned consistency was like one thing you guys struggled doing. Like, what's something else like on the
yeah,
floor in particular?
rebounding. For guards especially, myself included, number one. I was rebounding pretty well early on in the season, like the first few games, and then I just reverted back to my old ways. I like to stand and watch or come for the outlet a lot. So guards rebounding for sure, and then just our overall pace um, to the game. We have possessions where we're playing super fast. We're all locked in on defense, so we're playing, super fast on offense, and then we have possessions where we're playing slow. Everybody's not locked in on the defensive end. And honestly, that all starts in practice, just changing our habits in practice, trying to go hard every single practice, get, something out of every single rep, and that'll translate to the game. So that's what we're working on right now. We got the talent. I think, we know that everyone knows that we got the talent. So it's just being consistent with our approach every day. That's gonna help us, get over that hump. So
What are some things you guys are working on like in practice? Because I know you said you were in practice yesterday. So what are some things coaches kind of harping on you guys to do better?
well, we got back from a little 4-day vacation. We got to go home for a few days. So when we got back, it was really just, the first day was just shooting, getting the feel for the ball again, just being off for that long. It's not that long, but if you're not, playing 5-on-5 for 4 days, throughout the season, it could kind of throw you off a little bit. So just, getting our feel for the game like the first day. And then the second day, we just locked in on defense, being able to guard in the ball screen. And that's obviously a big part of, basketball nowadays. So tightening that up, with our communication, especially, guards calling the switches, bigs being in the right position, slaughter that down. So once we feel like if we can control the ball screen, then we'll be fine defensively. Um, we not really struggling in any other area
Well, I
significantly.
know I know you mentioned like you guys play fast at times and you guys play slow. Like what are you guys trying to like be in the middle of that? Or are you trying to like play fast like more than you
Now
guys
we're trying to
have been?
play fast. Yeah, yeah, we're trying to play faster. I don't think we've played our fastest. We it's terms of like just pushing the ball up the floor, using the pass, um, getting to our spots early, in a possession where there's an early post up or early open three, just because, we're pushing the ball, early ball screen, early drag, just initiating the offense a lot faster because we can create looks that way and then, get on the glass and just have, more possession. So we've been stressing that, since we got here in the summer. And we've been doing all right with it, but we still got, ways to go. And it's just only going to help us because, like I said, we're an old group. So we know how each other plays. The faster we're out there playing, the smoother it'll go.
I've noticed like you guys are pretty decent in like transition. Is that where you guys are
Yeah.
like most effective? Because you guys get a lot of points from that.
Yeah. Transition, we're most effective, because we got a lot of guys who are super athletic, for our league, especially guys who can get out and run, guys who can knock down shots. So, I mean, just playing with space and transition is what we've been working on. And then, when I say pacing, playing faster, I mean like in the half court. Transition, like you pointed out, we're fine in that area, but in the half court, just getting to our sets, a lot faster, doing it with more pace, will help us generate more, well, not more, but better looks. So yeah, but transition, we're doing all right for sure in transition.
What are kind of the primary like systems you guys have in place? Like what do you
As
guys
far
run? Like what do you guys run when you get into the half court? Like motion, like you guys get into motion
yeah,
or like what do you guys
I
do?
mean a ball screen motion, like nothing too crazy. The same thing kind of everybody else runs. We got um ball screen motion, lifting the big and then just playing out of that. Chester action. We do a lot out of the Chester action. But yeah, just, it's a pretty free for all offense. Um, guys can, free to make plays, pretty open, space wise.
Yeah.
And like I said, us playing, with each other so long, we go to offense easily. So
Yeah.
it's easy
So you
to
have
knock it up.
been like playing a while with these guys. Like you mentioned like leadership a little bit. Like, are you one of the more vocal guys like on your team while you're on the court? You're kind of telling people what to do and like where they're supposed to be at.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, not necessarily like what to do all the time, where they're supposed to be at, but just being that, that common presence out there, being a guy that's, been through a lot, college basketball, seen a lot with this group of guys. Just being that, consistent, voice that it's never too high, never too low. Um, just right, right there in the middle, right there, ready to, talk to guys if they, have a question or, they're confused about something on the court or, just being there, ready to motivate guys. Just more so things like that. I'm not really, you know, telling people what to do all the time because,
Yep.
we're old, so guys know what to do. So
Have you always been like a very like vocal guy or like one of the more prominent leaders since you've like came to Boston, or did that kind of evolve as your years went on?
Um, I mean, like I've always had that in me, but it's definitely evolved and over my time here. My freshman year when I got here, Max Mahoney and Adam McCullough were our two leaders. They were the two seniors on the team and they, did a great job just keeping everybody's heads on straight and keeping everybody focused on the main goal all season. And I learned a lot from that. I sat right next to Adam every single game. I go in, I come out, sit right next to him, ask him what he sees. Definitely evolved. I mean, we've had good leaders over the years, guys who lead in different ways. Like, Javante and Soup last year kind of led, more with their actions more so than vocally. I was still that vocal presence. Jonas is a good, vocal presence. Miles too, he's a good vocal presence. But we got a lot of guys who lead in different ways. Like Walt, he's not gonna say much, but he's gonna lead by showing you, this is, how it's supposed to be done defensively or offensively. And, he's stepping into that, vocal leadership role more this year, which is what we need from him. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. So you came in as a freshman, and what was your kind of expectation coming in as a freshman? Like, were you expecting to play a whole lot? Like, what were like coaches kind of telling you when you were coming in?
I mean, they weren't really promising me nothing. They were just, you know, telling me to come in, earn whatever I get. And that was my plan originally. I mean, that's how it went. I mean, every freshman coming to college obviously wants to play like, or they think they're going to play more than they actually are. Like, that's just coming out of high school. It's so different going into college. But I wasn't expecting anything. I had a good freshman year because I found out like what was going to keep me on the court. I wasn't even like making shots. Like we had Max shot like 60 something percent from the field. So he kind of held that down in terms of our scoring along with Javante Walt. Like we had enough scores. So as a freshman, my biggest impact was defensively. I was just
Yeah.
hounding guys. And once coach knew he could trust me defensively on the court, I started playing more, finishing games. I started one game just because, I was a smart player who was going to defend. And that's, I think, the biggest thing or the biggest transition coming out of high school. Like, you got to be able to guard your position.
Yeah.
In high school, you can kind of hide or be the best player. You're going to score the most points and you're not really looking to play defense anyways. But in college, if you can't guard your position, you're not going to play. So
Yep.
that's kind of where it stayed.
Would you say like defense was the biggest transition from high school to college?
I mean, just the overall like IQ, athleticism, and speed. And I mean that all comes with defense too. But just those three things overall is so different. It's like a month long, transition that you go through. I remember
Yeah.
being my practices looking around like, dang, everybody got to slow down. But then now I see myself as a senior and the freshmen looking at us the same way. So it's just like a thing you got to go through. But those are
Yep.
definitely the three biggest things that are different. IQ for sure, because I mean, you go and watch high schoolers playing. It's a lot of dribbling and
Yep.
it's like a lot of shots that they should take that
It's a
are
lot of
dribbling themselves.
ISO.
Yeah, a lot of ISO game where it's just like, when you get to college, it's gonna be catch and shoot. You got a couple seconds to make a move, quick decisions and stuff like that that high schoolers don't really understand right now. It's just a different game. So
Yeah, because you're just relying on like two, three players to get you 20.
it's
Or
just,
like,
I mean, pure talent. which is like good because you need that, aspect to your game when you get to college. Like you need that confidence and that whatever your game is, you need that bag. Coming in the, I mean, coming out of high school, going into college, you need
Yep.
that bag. But it's definitely got to be, you know, you just got to understand the game more. It's simplify it, which is gonna make you
Yeah.
look better. So I
Yeah.
kind of understood that coming out of high school. I understood that because I played with two other guys who scored 1,000 points as well. So uh, it was easy for me to kind of do my thing in high school because the attention wasn't solely on me. So I understood that whole aspect of being in the right spot, sharing the ball. I mean, playing the right way. That was instilled in me, from the beginning. So
Yep.
when I got to college, easy for me in terms of that.
Yeah. It was kind of just there. You kind of just had to
Yeah,
make
I've
it,
always had a
enhance
good
it a
feel
little bit
for.
more.
Yeah, my feel for the game is probably my, one of my biggest attributes. I'd say um, having that for a point guard is really big, especially. But just as a player, not specifically a point guard, having a good feel for the game is super important. Um, Being able to know when to score, know when to
Yep.
get guys involved, know
Yeah.
how to
Pick your
affect,
spots. Yeah.
know how to affect the game without scoring. Being okay with that is a big thing that you gotta, understand coming out of high school, going into college,
Yep.
especially. So
So, high school, you went to Culver. I actually have two younger siblings that go there. So, like, I'm like kind of familiar with it in a sense.
boys and girls.
I got a brother that plays hockey, and then I got a sister that
What
swims.
what unit is he in?
Company C.
I was in battery
Oh,
B.
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
knew a couple people over there.
yeah. You didn't go to Culver, did you?
No, I went
Uh,
to Cathedral.
okay, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wait, what year did you graduate?
2020.
So you, oh yeah, so you were there when our mom was there and
Yeah,
Tayshawn and all of them.
I saw you guys play them in Bankers. Like, I
Mhm.
think it was like, I think it was Armand's senior year. I saw you guys play them in
Yeah,
Bankers. I remember Trey had this like dunk on him or something. I can't remember who he dunked
yeah.
on, but like,
He drove middle and just dunked. He didn't dunk on nobody, but everybody in the video was like doing a head tap, and he literally he just dunked. I mean, it was a nice move, and he crushed it for sure, but he didn't dunk on nobody. I mean, I've seen him
yeah,
dunk on people.
I remember
So,
watching you in high school, and you were just like, you could control the game so easily. Like, I just
man,
felt like you were so good at that in high school.
high school was fun, bro. Like, well, once you figure out how to score in high school, like everything is just like easy. Like it's
Yeah,
and then even easier for me because I'm playing with Trey, Deontay, Nick, like Johnny. I wasn't even on the ball all the time, so I could really just chill and just try and score because
yeah,
Johnny was on
yeah,
the. I had to be on the ball. All the attention wasn't on me, so I could still kind of
yeah.
like you said, control the game from a different aspect other than scoring the ball. So high school was fun, bro. I was playing with, I mean, like
How
literally
fun
my
was it
best.
winning that state title? Because Culver, you guys brought them their
It was
first state championship ever. How was
it
that?
was it was a dream come true, bro. Like you gotta understand, I'm doing it with people that I've literally grown up with, like me, Trey, Deontay, Nick. I've known Johnny for forever, Henry Blissick. I've known all these guys, like they're all local guys. So doing it with people you know since you were little and literally talked about this your whole life. Um, it was a dream come true, bro. Something I'll never forget. Um, Wish you would have got that second one, but getting one for sure is. I mean, once you win a state championship in Indiana, you're valid.
Yeah,
You're
you're one of the elite as soon as you get that. Like
it's hard.
like
It's hard to do.
there's so many schools. Like there's so many.
So many. I mean, so many good teams from all around the state. Like just when you think your city has got the best talent, it's some other talent in other parts of the state that you don't even know about. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
and that kind of what we were up until we started making a name for ourselves and winning a lot.
yeah,
When I first got there, we were just we were all right my freshman year, but sophomore year we were kind of making a little noise, but we were still that team up north. And then junior year, obviously won it, so kind of
yeah.
making a name for
You
ourselves.
guys took off. You guys. I
Yeah,
don't know if you guys surprised people, but like people knew
I
you
mean,
guys
we
had talent.
yeah, I mean, we just like we were just in the gym so much. Like I've never seen a group of guys be in the gyms as much as we were, honestly. Like, and I'm not just saying that. Like after we lost, it's funny. We're doing a podcast. I did a podcast with Trey, Henry, and Amari on Coast to Coast. Shout out Coast to Coast. Um, I did a podcast with them, and Trey had brung up like after we lost the regional game sophomore year, as soon as we got back, literally on campus, everybody went to the gym. We were all playing pickup, and that just like shows you like the dedication from like
Yeah.
sophomore juniors in high school, like just sophomores and freshmen, because we were all so young. So
I
just
mean, you
stuff
guys
like that.
wanted
But
it. You guys wanted
yeah,
it bad.
and we had access to the gym. Like Culver's like the perfect place to want to be in the gym all the time and have access to because you're literally right
Yeah.
there, everything within
Yeah.
walking distance, bro. So being in the gym for us was so easy because it was literally 5 minutes away.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, there's like no excuses there. Like
yeah,
with my
not
brother, like he's always in the hockey rink all the
yeah,
time. Like
not at
most
all,
of the
bro.
day, he's there.
Yeah, hockey. I
That's
mean, yeah, it's
yeah, that's
definitely
different. That's different up there.
good.
But so you mentioned kind of Trey. What was your relationship like with him, like on the court, like chemistry wise? Like how'd you guys complement your games?
Um, I mean, he's a guy that can do everything, and I'm a guy that can do everything. And both guys who want to win, you know, who hate losing, I should say, more than we want to win. So that was what drove us.
Yep.
And just growing up together, playing together, AAU teammates for so long. I'd go up to Culver when we were little after AAU tournaments and spend like weeks with him up there. So we just were so close already. Winning a state championship, was just like something that we used to talk about. So our chemistry on the court was just like what we used to do in the backyard, honestly. Like it
Yep.
was nothing like a surprise or like, dang, but we
Yeah.
really play water. It's like, all right, bro. I've
Yeah.
been playing with you since I was 5, 6 years old. So
Yeah.
we kind of knew. Deontay, Nick, the same way. Like we all been playing with each other for so long. So it wasn't no surprise, bro. It might have been a surprise to other people, but it wasn't a surprise to us at all. But yeah, now Trey made it easy for everybody. I mean, everybody sees his scoring. Obviously, he can score the ball, but I mean, he's such a high IQ player. I mean, he's a coach's son, number one, so you know that he's gonna be smart. But
Yeah.
just his feel, speaks volume in itself. The way he's able to affect the game in so many ways, rebounding, defending. He was scoring as much as he did, but always guarding the players. The other team's best player too. So, he did a lot, and
Yep.
it was fun playing with him for sure.
So what were some things that kind of key takeaways that you learned from being at Culver for 4 years that prepared you for the next level? Like what are some things that you took and took it to college?
Um, Discipline for sure, time management, uh, work ethic. I give you three. Yeah, I feel like those are
Yeah. Yeah.
and time
Discipline.
management.
Yeah.
Like you said, so I'll just start with work ethic. Like you said, with everything being right there, there's really no excuse for you not to work on your game, not to be in the gym. So it
Yeah.
just taught me that it's like, all right, I got this access. Let me appreciate what I have. Number one, I know I'm fortunate to be in this position, be at Culver academically speaks for itself, but having this access
Yeah.
to the gym all that's something that I feel like a lot of high school players couldn't say, or they would
Yeah.
have to call to somebody to get in their high school gym. For me, it's 5 minutes away. So the work ethic was there because there was no other choice. And then, the discipline, that's kind of what Culver hangs his hat on.
Yep.
That's the military side to it. And it's not what like people think, like drop and give me 20. Like, whenever you bring up Culver, everybody thinks like they're saluting mad, being extra loud. And, there's a slight aspect to that, but for the most part, it's just like
Yeah.
discipline and teaching,
Yeah. I
you
mean, I
know.
know I definitely thought that for a little
Yeah,
bit.
Right, but I mean, because that's kind of what it sounds like, but it's really just teaching you how to be disciplined, how to lead, and how to follow. That's something that took me a while to understand, but once I got it, I definitely love Culver, bro. It did so much for me as a person, number one.
So
Put
how
me in
did
a
you
whole
end up going to Culver for high school? Like how did that kind of come about?
yeah. So, like I said, I was playing with me and Trey's been AAU teammates. Me, Trey, and Nick and Deontay have all been AAU teammates since we were like grade school. So and Coach Galloway was our assistant coach on that AAU team. So he was always, just telling my family about Culver and how big of an opportunity it was starting, third, fourth grade. And like I said, I was always going up there, just spending time with Trey because that's where he lived. So I
Yeah.
was super familiar with campus, just being a little kid. Um, and I mean, honestly, it was like a no-burner. Being away from home was, because I went when I was 13, so being away from home was kind of an adjustment for me, especially being that young. But once Trey and Deontay and Nick got there, my sophomore year kind of made it easier. And then, I actually went into COVID with two of my best friends, Amari and Jordan. So that definitely made it easier too, and Henry. So it's like a little brotherhood we got there. We're all going through the same stuff, seeing each other every day.
Yeah.
We're living, so it's a little brotherhood, and it ended up being one of the best decisions of my life. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Speaking of decisions, you like when your recruitment kind of picked up, like what was your decision process kind of picking a school? Like how are you kind of evaluating like other schools from on one another?
I mean, I wanted to go somewhere where I would be able to win number one. Like I don't want to just go somewhere where I get 25, 30, like, and then be last in conference. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
somewhere for its name because I'm trying to be at this certain school, this high major school, and then go sit
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also like whatever. So number one, I wanted to win because that's what I came from. That's what I've always known. And then two, I just wanted opportunity, um, in a good like environment. So BU provided that for me. I committed on my official, just being around the guys and the coaches. It was a good vibe. It was, good people around me, a good family atmosphere. So that's what I was used to from, being at Culver. So it was an easy choice after I committed. Coaches were
When did you
super honest
commit?
with
You committed senior year or did you commit your junior year?
me. Yeah, early senior year in October.
Is it kind of nice to just commit, get that out of the way before the season
For the
starts so it
season,
doesn't have
my
movement?
my coach was not, I mean, not super adamant about it, but he was like, it's be a good idea for you to just get that out the way so you don't got people asking you about it all the time, or it's always in the back of your mind and you're stressing about that during the season. So it was good for me to get that out the way so I could just lock in, and have a good senior season. And I did, just ended up losing, which sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not fun to lose. Like
I
no
should have
nobody
took that
wants to
last
lose.
shot. Yeah, like I had an opportunity to tie the game up and I passed it. That'll haunt me forever.
Like
But
when you miss like a shot that like would have won the game, like how long does that kind of take you to get over that? Because like most people never get over stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, just like so my freshman year, I missed a shot in sectionals that would have tied it. And in Indiana, there's no shot clock, so they went down there and held the ball. We had to foul.
Yeah.
We ended up losing. It's not even to say specifically that shot lost us the game, but if we would have tied it, then it would have been one possession. They would have held the ball. It probably would have won an OT. So I took that so personally. Like I literally went to the gym damn near every single day and shot from that exact spot
Yeah.
where I missed it. From that exact spot. Like I would just get the gun, right wing, three. I would just shoot like 200 shots from that spot. So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff just sticks with you. But I mean, everybody misses. Even
I mean,
Jordan
that's how
missed
you
that.
learn. Like you make mistakes and you
Yeah,
get better
yeah.
going
Around
forward.
there, not being afraid to be in that moment is definitely something that I've
Yeah.
I've never, struggled with being afraid, to take a shot or take the last shot. I mean, I missed a game winner my freshman year in college against Navy, um, in conference play, like,
Yeah.
and that hurt, but I had like a Kawhi bounce and it ended up bouncing out. So, um, I mean, it was what it was. I'm
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
be ready to take those shots, and I've hit big ones in my career. I've missed a few big ones, so I mean, like you said, trial and error, bro. I'm ready to
Yeah.
shoot them.
So I want to touch on shot clock because you played in the EYBL for like a little stint. Like they
Yeah,
had shot clock. So like how was that kind of getting a preview of shot clock early before you go into college?
it was great. I loved it. Made everything faster. Made you feel like you were, you know, playing a college game per se. Um, Before you were in college, I mean, obviously AAU is no defense being played, so that's biggest difference. But yeah, bro. I mean, I love the shot clock. I think every state in America should have a shot clock, and I don't know why Indiana is dragging its feet on it, but I think Indiana for sure should, put a shot clock in because it just speeds the game up. But nobody wants to see like,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know, holding the
you don't
ball,
want to see,
coaches.
yeah, no.
That's just old. Like it's
It's
nowadays nobody
annoying.
wants that stuff. So it'll just help the game, bro. So for me playing AAU with a shot clock was dope. I mean, even now, like it's like I've been used to playing with a shot clock for so long. If I'm playing open gym or pickup or whatever, I'll scream shot clock when the possession is too long, just because like I'm
Yeah,
mentally just like that right now. Like somebody
yeah.
shoot the ball, it just slows down the game if there's no shot clock. So I love it.
How did the EYBL like help you develop your game more and like kind of point out things that you were good at and like what you needed to improve on?
Yeah, bro, it helped me a lot because you're playing high major Division 1 guys and future draft picks every single game. So for me, it was just like, all right, this is the level you want to play at. This is who you want to be up against. Where's my game measure up? So every game it was like, a different challenge for me. The opposing guard. I wasn't really big into rankings and seeing who was ranked where, but it was just, who my matchup was that night. I took that personally. Being, what I feel like an overlooked point guard. I took those battles personally and tried to just lead and do my part on that team. Obviously it wasn't for me to score 20 a night. We had McDonald's All Americans and Jordan
Yeah.
Brand Classic guys. So my job was to kind of keep everybody involved and together and hit shots, play hard and, lead the team. So, I feel like I did that, to my best. But
What
yeah,
do you think was your toughest matchup when you were playing in the circuit?
Tyrese Maxey. We didn't even get to finish that game, bro. But Tyrese Maxey, like they cracked us. Like they were up by like 20 the entire game. Everything he did was just smooth. Like he wasn't even sweating. Like he was smiling the whole game.
Jeez.
Trying to. He just had pro moves to his game in high school, and you notice that when you playing dudes, it's just like different. So I mean, Tyrese for sure. Let's see who else. I mean, oh yeah, James Wiseman. Like I said, so I'm not really big in the rankings. So I obviously knew at the time he was number one player in the country, but
Yeah, yeah.
at Peach Jam, I wasn't obviously focused on like, oh, that's the number one player
He
in the
was
country.
he was
So
ridiculous.
when I got out there, right, within the first 3 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the number one player in the country, bro. Because literally, like just his presence on the court, like
Yeah, I mean he's
the
a seven
dude's so
footer.
and the dude's so tall, like you getting in the lane, he's affecting every single shot. Like he's gliding down the court, just stepping through everybody, getting rebounds. It's crazy stuff. Like not even so much scoring every single time, but just like his athleticism, his athletic presence on the court is just ridiculous. So I was definitely like, all right, like that's the number one player in the country. But
Who do you think was the most like skilled player you ever saw? Like if you ever matched up, like who do you think's the most skilled
most
that you
skilled player
saw?
I've ever.
I
I
mean, there's
mean,
just so many people. that you can think of?
Yeah, I off the top of my head, I could just say like Scotty Barnes.
Yeah,
He
Scotty Barnes.
was athletically different, you know, at the time. He kind of had everything in his bag. Christian Wofford was good. No, his little brother Trendon,
Yeah, Trendon.
right?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah,
Trendon. His little brother was nice.
yeah,
We
he's
played him
nice.
at Boo Williams. You know, he talked a lot, but shit, he was cooking us. So they ended up um no, it was a good game, but they ended up winning. But he was, you know, he played all right. So but yeah, I mean, just like that, that's like what the league wants right now. Like that size, that six
Yeah,
seven, 6'8", handle the ball, shoot, pass, good IQ, good feel for the game. Like that's, you know, what you see in the league right now. It's not even
yeah,
a lot of guys, 6'2", 6'3" point guards like this. They want all wings. So just guys like that are always, you know, gonna be the toughest, you know, to play against, and, you know, the most fun to play against too, because they bring, you know, the scouts and the attention. You know, you could feed off
yeah,
that shit. That type of guy to, you know, walk in, see certain heads in the gym, and, you know, that's gonna tee me up. So it's
yeah,
definitely fun, man. I mean, that's what the EYBL does for you too. So and you know, what circuit's better? Like there's no
yeah.
comparison. EYBL and then whoever else. Like you can look at the draft numbers too in the last 10 years. Like it screams EYBL. So yeah.
Would like, because like I know when you're playing games there, there'd be like, you'd see like Tom Izzo, like Kyle Perry,
Yeah.
like Coach K. Like,
Yeah.
does that like fuel you even more to like do even better than like just because those guys are even in the gym?
I mean, you gotta kind of take it as like it's just another game, that approach to it, but you definitely know like they're there. So I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm just out there playing and I don't realize, you know, where I'm at, my environment. But in terms of the game, you kind of just got to focus on the game, just focus on you doing what you do. Because the moment you start focusing on, okay, there's Kentucky, Duke, Michigan State over there, then you start wilding, looking bad out there. So just focusing on me doing what I do, and you know, but I definitely realized like, okay, damn, guys I see on TV, like, I mean, KD pulled up to our game, sat courtside at Peach Jam against Team Takeover. They cracked us too. And I'm saying we got cracked a lot, but don't get it twisted. Like we were nice. We were nice. We just didn't put it all together in that short amount of time. You know, we got
You
teams
guys
in
had
EYBL.
talent.
Yeah, you know, we had mad talent. It's just we didn't get, you know, enough practices in and all of that, like the other stuff that comes with basketball that paper doesn't always show. Um, but you know, we were nice. But yeah, no, we played team takeover and we literally couldn't even warm up. We missed like 6, 7 minutes of our warm up because KD's trying to get to his seat in the middle of our warm up.
What? Six,
Yeah,
seven
like
minutes? That's how long?
because you know at Peach Jam, like you only get like a certain, like as soon as your game is up, they turn that clock on. It's like a solid 20 minutes or 15 minutes, however long you get to warm up. So we missed like 5 to 6 minutes of that because KD's trying to get to his seat in the center of the court, front row, and everybody, you know, obviously there's a crowd, so I'm, you know, once KD got
That's
to his seat safely, we got to warm up, but just stuff like that. But that environment is just, you know, what you want as an athlete, as a basketball player, bro. Like,
Was the Peach
what,
Jam one of your highlights in your high school career? For sure.
for sure. I mean, because you're, like I said, you're playing against the best. You get to watch the best. You get to be in the best environment. You know, nothing like, you know, great hoops. You know, being around NBA legends. You got former players, current players coaching teams on the sidelines, like, you know, just being around. So it's definitely like, what more could you ask for? And that's not just specifically EYBL. That's, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, these coaches go to all circuits. I mean, just when you see Patrick Ewing come in with a Georgetown shirt on, and then you realize, oh shit, that's Patrick Ewing. Like he's not just a coach. Patrick Ewing before he was, you know, the head coach of Georgetown. Just stuff like that, bro. It's stuff you'll never forget. And I'm definitely, you know, fortunate to be able have experienced all of that in high school because it's a it's a select few, bro. It's not everybody don't get to be on those teams because it's the best of the best. So
So what was like the process of getting into the Peach Jam? Because like I know they only take a certain amount of teams. It's like how many
yeah,
wins did you have to like qualify for it?
I don't know how many wins you had to have per se, but you just had to be in like the top two of your bracket, like your division.
Okay.
I think top two or three, like or whatever of your division. And then if you had like a McDonald's All American or say like a Marvin Bagley, like one year his team was like 2-14 in league play, but he made Peach Jam because he's Marvin Bagley. Like
Yeah.
you got a guy like that, like who has to be. I mean, he's going to Duke, all those Nike ties. Like he's obviously going to be in Peach. So,
Yeah.
but for the most part, you got to be in your top two. I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean it's tough to get in there.
yeah, Keon Trace. Like I don't know if we would have been bad. I mean, we had some wins, specifically in the
Keon and
Indianapolis.
Trace, those are not bad players at all to have as your
I'm
team.
saying, like, yo, we had some wins in Indianapolis. Like, we went 3-1 in Indianapolis, and we easily could have went 1-3 or 2-2. We had some wins that could have swung the opposite way very quickly, very easily. So we might have been in a position to use our names. And Keon and Trace, I mean, like you said, those aren't bad players. So we could have been all right. Could have snuck in there on the simple fact of them being, because that's how all of, that political stuff go. But
Yeah.
that's the other part. But yeah, I think it's top two. It
Top
may be
two.
just something like that. Yeah.
Do you know how many teams like get in? Like per se, is it like 16 or like is it bigger than
Yeah,
that?
something like that. Something like
Something like that.
it's just like March Madness. Like they try and do it just like that. Like they and Peace Jams, bro. It's a lot going on too. Like
It's not just the games. Like it's
it's
there's
not just the games, bro. It's the environment. It's like right after the game, like the crowd. You trying to like get through everybody to go downstairs, and then it's like super tight down there with all those teams getting ready to play, eating, doing all types of stuff. Like, and then if you got heads in the building, it's even more crowded because everybody trying to go see them. So it's a lot going on, but it's it's fun. It's the
I mean, it's
atmosphere.
definitely a good experience to have though, because you can kind of get used to blocking out all those distractions, especially
For
when
sure.
like in college,
Exactly.
like there's a lot of people like screaming at you,
College, yeah.
like
College
it's
is even.
nuts. So like you
Mhm.
played against Notre Dame this year. How was it going to South Bend and playing in Indiana? Because that was your first college game in Indiana, was it?
First, yeah, first game back in the state. We've been trying to get a game for a while. So just off
You
the simple
played
fact
pretty
it's my first.
well. You
Yeah, I
played
mean, like
well.
I was just so happy to be home, bro. Like I hadn't been in front of Indiana for a while, and they I had a bunch of family come out. I felt the love definitely, for sure that night. I had about like 50 to 70 people in attendance. A bunch of
Nice.
Culver people came out, just people I haven't seen in a while, people I didn't even know. Um, so I felt the love for sure. But yeah, I mean that's why it was fun going back, bro, because I knew I was gonna be in front of my people that haven't seen me play in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
I wants to see you play on each level, of your career. So for those people who haven't seen me play in college or only seen me play on TV, it was nice to be able to play in front of them.
So that
And
game you hit like four, you were like 4 for 4 from like three or like 5 for 5 or something. I mean, you didn't miss a three. So
something like that. No, no, I think
I could have sworn you were perfect from three.
I wasn't perfect. I was like, I got him up that game. I was like 5 for something. But yeah, no, I mean, I shot it well, bro. I was just, taking open shots, hitting shots, bro. It's nothing like crazy. I was just letting the
Yeah.
game come to me. It's kind of how I play, bro. If the game calls for me to get 16 to 20, that's what I do. If the game calls for me to get 8 and 8, that's what I do, bro. I'm just trying to get W's. We didn't even win that game, so that's why Ain't really much to
Yeah.
talk about. Like, played well, but
Yeah.
fuck it, bro. So,
Would you say your 3-point shot is like the main strength in your game? Like the strongest point?
um, I think one of them, I can get to the rack. I mean, I could do really whatever, but right now, I mean, I'm shooting the ball very well. So, and it's easy, like I said, just simplifying the game. Like, it's easy to just shoot, catch, and shoot shots, and just being ready to
Yep.
shoot at all times. I know where to be on the court. I know my teammates, so it's just like being ready to shoot, being ready to knock down open shots, and then this year I'm able to create more for myself. So I've always had that in me, but now really doing it consistently and being put in those situations, it's definitely help my game, because just basketball's all about rhythm. So the more you do things,
Yep.
the more you become it. So I'm just
Yeah.
in a good rhythm right now. Just in a
What
good
did you
rhythm.
work
So
on during the summer, like to kind of like improve from last year to this year? Like, what were things you mainly worked on?
yeah, shooting the ball for sure, finishing around the rim, and then just being able to read like specific situations, um, off of ball screens, and then finding spots where I could be most effective. Like always having my feet ready to shoot the ball and like reversals or when guys are attacking. Guys have a tendency to just relax or watch the ball, but honestly, if you're ready to shoot a lot at all times, you could still like 6 to 9 points. Just if you could shoot the ball, just being ready to
Yeah.
shoot, you could still bucket. So like I didn't go out the way this summer, bro. I just kind of locked in on being efficient. Um,
Yep.
I'm not a guy that's gonna try and go out there and take 15 shots. Like I don't need 15 to get 30. Like if I'm scoring or if I'm playing well, it's usually because I'm efficient. Like I'm not shooting a whole bunch of
Yeah.
shots. And I pride myself on that because, it's just no reason to, you know, when you know the game at a certain level, when you're playing with, other guys who make the game easier for you,
Yeah. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
don't need to overcomplicate it because then you get to looking crazy. So, I play
Yeah.
with really good other basketball players, We got a really good team. So
Yeah.
it's easy for me to kind of pick my spots and do what I do because I'm around a lot of good players who also know the game at a high level. And that's all that college is. So at professional sports is, the higher you go, the smarter dudes are. So that's all it is. I didn't like go home and do nothing crazy. I tried to get stronger, tried to get my ankles right, for sure. I battled some injuries last year. So I tried to lock in on my body and just make sure there was nothing, no, tweaks or nothing.
Yep.
But it was nothing like crazy I went in and did or said I had to do this to do, to get this accolade or whatever. I just
Yeah.
locked in on stuff I usually locked in and just focused more on efficiency this summer so I can pick my spots better and just become more effective.
Yep. Yep. What would you say is the most underrated part of your game that kind of gets overlooked a lot, in your opinion?
Man, my post defense. These forwards, these forwards be trying to post me up. And honestly, if you check my resume, you go and watch the film. I don't get scored on in the post by force. A lot of people switch 1 through 4. We're a team that switches 1 through 4. So we'll switch 1 through 5 sometimes because our bigs can guard. Especially in the past, we've had bigs who can stay in front. So, but yeah, man, like forwards still like see me and think, all right, I'm just go to the post, and either they don't get the ball or they don't score. Like, and a lot of guys complain was like, yo, if you can't get the ball, like, what are we talking about? That's not like you're not stopping. It's like, bro, if you can't get the ball, then if I'm making it so hard for you to get the rock, then how are you gonna score? So I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
pride myself on not being a guy that can just get posted up easily. Because that changes the game if
Yeah.
your
That
guards
does.
guards can guard fours. Not I mean, there's no point guard stopping the 5, but making it tough on the 5 to get the ball and just being in situations like that where you can make it tough on the 5. But yeah, definitely being a guard that can switches 1 through 4, but it helps your defense so much. So
I mean, especially now since the game is like every player is so versatile now, like you kind of have to be able to guard one through
Yeah.
four, because like you said, the switches and like everything that
Right.
goes on.
That's our league too, specifically. A lot of fours are like that kind of prototypical wing, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", kind of handle it a little bit, shoot it a little bit. Um, so it just being able to guard guys like that, helps a lot because you don't got to worry about doubling the four. And then if you got a five that you really got to worry about, sometimes doubling the five, like you just keep everybody on everybody, you just, slows down the game defensively because defense, when teams start looking bad defensively, when we start looking bad defensively, it's literally because we're in rotations. Like the
Yeah.
ball's not being kept, no one's containing the ball. So then we start flying around, or if we got a double, say, if I can't guard a four, and we got a double right away, it's just going to put us in a rotation if that guy can pass. So it eliminates stuff like that, which helps you, win games. And that's not always that stuff that will show up on the stat sheet, but that stuff helps for sure.
I feel like most teams like play man. Like you see zones sometimes. Like, do you guys ever run zone, or you guys always just try to play man?
I mean, we play man to man like 90% of the time. If we're playing zone, this sport for a specific reason. Maybe a team can't shoot it like that, so or we're trying to finish out close out the end of the half. So we'll throw a zone at them just to, slow them down a little bit, make them think. But yeah, we definitely not like going into the game playing zone, but we got it in our bag if we need it. I think it's something
Yep.
that you should play in colleges and like zone. It's like all matchup zones. So you're playing zone, but honestly, when the ball gets to the top of the key, it's matchup anyway. So it's not top of the key, but free throw line. Like the ball gets thrown in there, it's just gonna match up. So
Yep.
we play a little, but not too much, not too much at all.
So you guys started conference play like just recently?
All
You
right,
guys
Friday's our first
Friday?
game.
Who do you think is going to be your toughest like test in conference?
Uh, Shit, man, we'll see. I mean, Navy beat us last year, so I mean, you got to say them off the rip. They put us out, so Friday's game is definitely one I've been looking forward to for a while. And then obviously Colgate, who has won, the last 5 to 5. Um, and then I think Army, they still got Rucker, so he's nice. They got a
Yeah.
nice team, so I think those three. But I mean, the Patriot League is, anybody could kind of do anything. Never want to overlook anybody. So,
Yeah, I mean a
but
lot of
yeah,
people overlook like those mid majors. I mean, there's a lot of good players like
yeah,
in
no,
those mid
it's
major conferences. There's so
a
many.
ton of talent, bro. Like it's a ton of talent. People get so caught up in the like high major stuff, and I honestly like I did too as a kid. Like you want to
Yeah.
get to a high major, and I mean sometimes like some of these kids are just waiting on high majors when you got mid majors that want you. Um, focusing on the name and not like people
Yeah.
who want you and still knowing that you can develop here and if you're good enough they're gonna see you, you know what I'm saying, wherever, the NBA, overseas, like if you're good enough people are gonna see you. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of talent, bro. The only true difference is athleticism, um and height. And then
Yeah.
like mid-major offense versus mid-major, I mean high major offense, like it's a little different. Like you get to play more high major, like it's just based on like your talents and all of that. And then mid-major kind of running a few more sets, but that's
Yeah.
honestly like the real differences, bro. Like it's nothing crazy. Like, and I think
I
that's
mean,
like,
if you explain, if I'm like interpreting it correctly, you're kind of saying that like mid major is like a smarter game, and then like higher majors kind of like relied on like natural ability a little bit. I could be wrong, but like in
I
a
mean,
sense,
in a sense, like I mean, yeah, you could say that. I just meant it more so like the coaches just kind of let them
be more
like,
free.
yeah, be more free. Like it's more like freelance and just putting you in spots or situations to for your talents to show instead of like calling plays or sets every single time, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of major coaches that don't call out of sets. You know, it's just about the coach's philosophy. So I wouldn't say like smarter, but I definitely see what you're saying though.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your main goal as a basketball player? Like where like what's one goal that you've always had that you want to accomplish like in your career?
It's an NBA.
NBA.
It's never gonna. It's never gonna change. As long as that ball bouncing, as long as I can still hoop, as long as the opportunity's still there, get to the NBA. So it's a whole bunch of roster league nowadays. Um, so yeah, it's not saying that I wouldn't go overseas and make money and kill. Yeah,
Yep.
get into the league. Get into the league for sure. It's always the a goal.
So have you been thinking like beyond next season, like what you're gonna like do, like what you're trying to pursue?
Not too much right now. I'm just focused on, this group of guys that I'm playing with, for the last time. This is the last time we're gonna be together. So I'm really
Yeah.
cherishing that for my guys. And focusing on my time here. It's too much going on for me to think further than that, bro. I just be trying to take it day by day. We
Yeah,
having so much going
exactly.
practice and travel, school. Thankfully we got a little break right now, but
Yeah.
school starts. School will be, a top priority. So yeah, I just been focusing on, the present. I think that helps me. Some people
Yeah.
can think about the future and still be able to stay in the present, but for me, I know that what helps me the most is just staying in the present, focusing on what's in front of me. So
Yeah.
just been doing.
Yeah. So I know it's early in the year, but what's been your favorite moment of the season so far?
Um, our win against Marist, it was a it was a roadkill, man. It was a hostile environment. Fans was talking shit. It was a good environment in there, and we came out with the W. I think we won by 2 points. Um, I hit 2 free throws, to put us up by two. We closed it out. Um, I missed a layup, and then Walt got a tip in, to win the game. So we just found a way to win, and that's like what you want to see from a group of seniors, in November. Like it is early, and no team is like at their best form and shape in November, so you can't really weigh it too heavily. But from a group of guys that's been together as long as we have, and had a lot of close games, finished a lot of close games, that was definitely a good one to pull out on the road. So that's probably my favorite.
So have you been in an NCAA tournament?
I haven't, bro. We were going, and then COVID. So
Oh
that's
man.
yeah. I mean that's yeah. My bad. My booming right now. That's definitely the second goal. Like after the league is to get to the NCAA tournament, and there's nothing like walking across the court, seeing that March Madness, and those brackets on the floor, bro. It's a different
Yeah.
feeling. Something I was this close to my freshman year, but it got snatched away from us. Still got the ring though, but the experience was taken away. So getting back to March Madness for sure is something that we got to do. And we got the talent too, so it'll be a good conference season.
I hope to see you. I hope to see you in there.
Yeah, bro. Me too. I want it bad, more bad than anyone for this group specifically, bro. Because we, like I said, been through a lot. We've had the talent to win the championship the last 3 years, and things just haven't fallen together all the way. So this year we're trying to put it together, bro. And we got a good chance to. So
Yep.
I'm excited. It's the best time of the year. We get to just lock in on basketball. There's no school,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
we just get the hoop. So I'm excited to get going.
I got one last question, just one. So how would you describe yourself as a basketball player?
I think I'm just a hooper, bro. Like nothing more to it. There's hoopers and there's basketball players. There's a difference. And if you're a hooper, So I think I pride myself on my IQ. Like I said, my feel for the game. Um, and then just being ready for the moment. Like I'm a guy that embraces, those big moments. Like I said, hitting big shots, being in that environment. Like I'm a guy that loves that shit. So I think that defines me because you can see it through my play. When I'm out there, you see my passion for the game. You can see, you know, my want to be in the moment. When the moment comes, all of that is just stuff that's been trained into me since I was little. I've been
Yep.
doing this shit for. I'm young. I'm only 20, but I've been playing basketball since I was 3. So
Yeah.
um, I love this shit, and I think you can see it when I play. So just that, bro. My feel for the game and my passion. I think that you can see that for sure.
Hey, that's good. That's good, bro. Is there anything else you want to say before I close this out, man?
Uh, Shit, nah, bro. Just we coming. In the words of Deion Sanders, we coming. Excited. I'm excited for this conference
Watching, bro. I'll be tuned in.
for sure.
But this is gonna go ahead and do it for today's episode of Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Brosen, and this is Ethan Watts. Make sure to subscribe, like the channel, comment and share. Spotify version will be in the description. And then check out my social medias and pop them up on the screen. And then check out the take.sport.blog where my sports articles are going to be at. Link in the description for that. But this has been another episode of Take Podcast, and you guys take care. Thank you for hopping on, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me. Had a blast doing this. Appreciate you for having me. She's a